In New York State, a storm is brewing behind the prison walls, where a growing number of correctional officers are taking to the streets in protest. Tensions are rising as these frontline workers demand better conditions that have long been ignored. For months now, officers have been grappling with severe understaffing and an overwhelming workload. With each shift, they're pushed to the brink, facing exhaustion and burnout. The prison system, already strained, is struggling to maintain order, and it's the officers who are paying the price. But it's not just the long hours or the lack of support. The stakes have grown far higher. Fentanyl, the deadly drug making its way into prisons across the state, is becoming a silent killer. Smuggled in through the mail system, officers are unknowingly exposed to the potent substance, risking their lives every day. And there's more. Officers are being forced into mandatory overtime, working double shifts with no relief. This constant strain is pushing them past their limits, forcing many to work in unsafe, unsustainable conditions. It's not just a matter of fatigue, it's a matter of life and death. The physical and mental toll is mounting, and something has to change. To make matters worse, the HALT Act, intended to limit solitary confinement, has led to its own set of problems. The Act, while created with good intentions, has created a new set of challenges for correctional officers, making their work more dangerous and complicated. With fewer ways to manage disruptive inmates, officers are left with limited tools and increasing risks. Governor Hochul has now called in the National Guard to fill in for correctional officers on strike, a stark reminder of how dire the situation has become. But this protest is more than a demand for better staffing or safer conditions. It's a call for respect, for the recognition of the sacrifices made by these men and women who keep the system running, despite the odds stacked against them. As the protests continue, the question remains, will those in power listen? Will the voices of these workers be heard before more lives are lost, before more families are torn apart by the growing crisis behind bars? The fight for fairness, safety, and justice is not over. No, the fire still burns. And as long as the flames of injustice remain, so will the voices calling for change.